everybody, and welcome back to OP Craft. That's right, we are in Draconic Armor, full Draconic Armor, fully charged. I've even got a flux capacitor now, and a wireless crafting terminal. Let's take a look at what I've done off camera here, because it's been a lot of grinding and finishing quests, but nothing all too interesting, really. One thing, I got rid of the mob farm. I don't think it's very useful anymore because, well, we can pretty much EMC anything that it comes out of it. The only thing I'm going to miss is these loot crates, but, well, we can live. And there's still a few things I need to clear out of here, but not too bad at all. Let's see, what else did we do? We've got these things. So these are flux points. They add energy into the flux network, and these are spectre coil number whatevers. Basically, they generate 128 RF per tick, so that's pretty well augmenting the input to power for our entire system. This is probably one of the reasons that I would want to put a mob farm back up, but at the moment I wanted the space, so that's why I took that out. And the other thing is, I did manage to create an infinity ingot. You can see the EMC is ticking up here. Infinity Catalyst was first, and that included, if I can find the recipe, hang on. That included the Ultimate Stew, which was a bunch of different crafting, the Endless Pearl, which was easy, you know, all this stuff, and then these Singularities, which is basically just me taking, so for example, iron blocks, fill up my inventory, I'd go over here, and I'd start doing this, and it wasn't that interesting. I also use these, which are dark matter pedestals with watches of flowing time on top of them. This sped up the compressing in this machine, which was super helpful because otherwise it would have taken me probably 5 times as long. But yeah, we don't need these anymore because we've got all the singularities that we need and crafted them up into the Infinity Catalyst. So what's next, you might ask? Well, first of all, I want to find a dedicated location and expand our chicken farm. So we've got more watches of flowing time up here. These chickens are producing pretty quickly. This roost collector does its thing, and then those all go into a personal EMC link, which was another quest in the storage quest line. Somewhere around here. Oh no, it was ProjectE. This thing. So this basically takes input and will add EMC to our personal EMC. Nothing too complicated there. Basically just just input and then no worries afterwards. So that's how our EMC is going up. So basically I want to remove this stuff and add chickens around this entire room, and probably we'll fill this entire room up after a very short amount of time, and maybe even add another room on top of here. So that's pretty much where we're at. And by the way, this Draconic Armor does give us creative flight, so that's super helpful. Now, what else is there to say? Oh, I did finish, I created the chicken seeds, which was the last chickens quest, and since all of this stuff is EMCable, I just went through and blasted through all of these quests, so that was really easy. And obviously the Draconic Armor is done. The Awakened Core, Draconic Flux Capacitor, all this stuff is finished. The only things left here are Mob Spawner, which I think I have to find one in the world, which is a little bit annoying. And then Chaos stuff, which we have to kill the Chaos Chicken with to do. And then beyond that, we have the epic large amounts of EMC. So this is 422 trillion EMC. It's going to be a while before we get there, so I'm not rushing that. And then this is 300 billion. We might actually be pretty close to that, but I'm fairly certain it requires a it requires a transmutation tablet, which requires a chaos shard, and then we just throw a chaotic core and an endless pearl into a chaotic tier Draconic Evolution crafting, and we should be good. So that's pretty much where we're at with most of these quests, I think. I did get all the way up to Gem Armor. Gem Armor, it doesn't give you flying, so it's not as good as the Draconic Armor, but it is the next step towards the Infinity Armor. The Infinity Armor requires 600... Oh, it requires hundreds of billions of EMC. So we're slowly working our way up to being able to craft those and also the tools. But we aren't quite there yet, so I'm increasing the emerald output of this area is definitely going to be a part of my priorities here, because this will make it possible for us to actually craft that stuff. And then once we got this all done, this chapter will be finished, and we should be getting pretty close to Chaos Chicken fight, the end of Draconic Evolution, once I can figure this out, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. There are little things here and there that we need to do. For example, this black hole controller requires a very particular type of mob farm, so I might have to get into that. And then the transmutation tablet actually requires HTP, which is EMCable, so we only need one of them, one of these pellet things. But we have to create a PRC, and we have to go through basically some mechanism stuff to get to this point. And then once we've got this done, we also need a couple other machines, it looks like. That's no problem. But the crafting for that is a little finicky, so I'm probably going to do it off camera. And I might be able to show you the setup that I use after the fact, but that's really all I've got. And then these farming things are pretty much... I've stopped using them because there's really just no point in having them. In fact, yeah, let's just destroy that. Because seeds and wheat are both EMCable, and so there's not much reason to have this sitting around. So yeah, I'm just kind of tearing things out as I don't need them, and throwing them into the EMC, and then calling it a day. So I'm going to work on getting those emerald chickens up, and I might work on HDPE sheets. Other than that, I'll be back when I've made a little bit more progress. And hopefully when I have Infinity Armor, because I think in this episode it makes sense for us to go and fight the Chaos Chicken. So, stick around, and we'll be back in a little bit with more progress on everything. And, well, we are... we have changed some things around here. Let me try to go through all of this real fast with y'all. So, first of all, I cleared out a bunch of space because I've realized that I needed the space if I was going to do stuff like this. And, well, so I tore out a lot of the flux power storage and I replaced it with this thing. If you're not familiar, this is the Draconic Evolution energy core. And it'll store pretty much whatever amount of energy I want to throw at it. It's not even 0% full, and this is 10 billion RF. We're still hooked up to the Flux network for input into this thing as well as output to other things, but it's fine now. It's fine for quite some time now. I think the energy. Hold on, I don't think I can tell. It's hard to tell what the output is really, but I have enough energy for a while, and I'm working on. I have these nether star generators, so basically you just dump nether stars in here and they generate power. Each one of these generates 9 million RF. So the more nether stars I can put in there, the better, and the faster I can get the energy, the better. So I'm thinking about automating this a bit differently and throwing some more nether stars at it, but that's just in the works at the moment. And the crafting for this stuff, by the way, is pretty quick. There's not any fusion crafting involved at all. It's just pretty straightforward. But yeah, this is the next generation of power. And by the way, we're going to remove all this lava stuff. This doesn't seem like it's worth keeping around at this point because we have the nether star generators. Plus we have a huge backlog of energy that we can use if we need to. There's other stuff that I can clean up here. I could probably move these chickens. I could probably move the tinker stuff closer to the smeltery. I added a lot of ME drives. We probably don't need that many, but I figured I might as well have the space if I need it. And yeah, basically just kind of cleaning things up and moving them around as I get more space. So yeah, that's what I've been up to pretty much all day, is just screwing around, adding more space to my main area here. Chickens are still up here. I added well, this room is full. Now I don't remember in the last clip if I had this room, but we now have 4 dark matter pedestals with watches of flowing time in each corner, speeding up the chickens pretty quick now. And what kind of EMC am I at? 500 billion. So I already did the boots. Those were only 375 billion. Then the next thing that we can do, I think, is a tool. We can do the longbow of the heavens, and we can do the axe. So let's do that on camera since I've got you guys. So basically, look at the axe. It needs 5, 6, 10, 11 infinity ingots and some neutronium. So we pick out neutronium first because it's easier. Don't need to worry about getting too many of those. And then 11 infinity ingots. 11. And then come over here, throw this in, boom, done. And then all we do is throw this back in because we don't actually need that axe right now. Take it off the hot bar there, and then we do the same thing with the longbow. Excuse me. So this needs some wool, a crystal matrix block, which shouldn't be too hard, and then 10 infinity ingots. Let's do the infinity ingots first this time. 10. Then wool. And crystal matrix. I don't think I have the blocks in here yet now, so we'll do quick craft there and teach the system that. And then we go over to the longbow, craft it, bam, done. Is that not a quest? That's not a quest. Okay, fair enough. But the longbow is there if we want it. So, axe is done. We get a party pickaxe. It's kind of silly because we can actually pull them out of the EMC system anytime we want now. That's what I've been doing to clear out the area since we don't have the ultra pickaxe yet. Anyway, so that's just a little insight into what's been happening off camera. I'm going to probably clear out that lava next, clear out a little bit more space so this thing doesn't look so crowded. And yeah, continue moving things around here and there, as well as automating the nether star generators a little bit better, maybe getting a few more of them, maybe speeding them up with the watches of flowing time, all that business. And I'll come back a little bit later, hopefully by the time we've got a full set of infinity armor, because around that time is when we're going to want to go and hit up the chaos chicken, because, well, there's only so much time that we can spend not doing that, and yeah, I'd definitely like to get into it. So let's also take a quick look at the energy storage. Yeah, it's slowly ticking up. Looks like it's about a million every few seconds. So this will definitely take a long time to charge up fully, which is exactly the idea. But doing something with those nether star generators is definitely going to help that along. So yeah, I'll check in a fair bit, I'd imagine, probably because I'm recording this segment on Monday, and this video is going to go out on Thursday. So I might be doing AFK work on this stuff for quite some time, maybe until Wednesday even. So yeah, I'll see you guys in however long it takes me to make significant progress on the EMC. And we're back with a quick update here. Nothing much has changed apart from, well, oh, I guess I did this mob farm thing because I wanted to close out the storage quest line. So this is all done now. The only thing that was remaining was this controller, which required a pink slime ingot. And now we've got a few of those sitting around. And I think that's pretty much it, except that I've also completed all of these quests. I don't believe I've done that in the last segment. I have also pulled out most of the infinity armor. The last thing that I need is the Draconic helm, and I'm a few 100 billion away from being able to pull that out of the system. However, looking ahead, one of the quests is to get the maximum amount of EMC possible, and the hint is to make this thing, which requires a chaos shard and the chaotic tier fusion crafting setup. However, you pull out a couple of infinity ingots and some grains of infinity, which are cheap, plus a chaos shard, which is also cheap, and you get this balanced clay. It does, however, require 3 trillion or 4 trillion RF, which we actually have now because I've been letting my generators run. But I decided that if we're going to do that more than once, we're probably going to want a better power setup. So I set up a rainbow generator, which is taking power, well, not taking power from, but being activated by every single generator from Extra Utilities 2 being active at the same time. And this system took a really long time to figure out. We've got a few chickens here that are making a few things for the explosive generator, frosty generator, ender generator. There's just ender pearls going in there, as you can see here. Survival, furnace, and overclock, they just require coal, which is easy enough. Pink generator is just pink dye, that's easy as well. And these aren't the most efficient ways, but these are the ways that I can basically infinitely supply things. Slime is slime balls plus milk. Milk is something that we had to generate with the energy condensers, so those are good for a while. And then we get into death. This is rotten flesh. Again, we're generating that with one of the energy condensers. Culinary, we're just doing carrots with the energy condenser. Nether star, you've seen what I did with the ones over there. This is the same idea. Then we've got heated redstone. This requires lava, so we've got lava coming from this, and it's also going into this magnetic generator. Redstone's coming from a chicken over there, and that's no problem. And then this is a disenchantment generator, and this is a potion generator. These were the most complicated to set up. So the disenchantment requires enchanted books. So I take enchanted books from this arcane ensorcellator, which requires essence of knowledge, which I'm getting from this demonically gargantuan drum. I could probably set up an infinite system for this by setting up my mob grinder again and dumping it into this. But for now, this is good because there are something like, 12,000 buckets. And I think each one requires something like, well, a pretty small amount. It's 1,500. It's like a bucket and a half. So it's actually pretty quick, and yeah, we don't have any problems here really. So yeah, I don't have any issues supplying that essence of knowledge. But rotten flesh we're generating from the same energy condenser that is doing the death generator. And then books is a separate generator somewhere around here. There. And then the potion one actually you can just use water bottles. So I've got an infinite water source here. This got a little finicky when I first tried it, but I filled it up a few times and it started working finally. And then this is upgraded a couple times with auxiliary reception coils. We put in glass bottles from this energy condenser. They're only 1 EMC, so that should be good for quite some time. The problem appears to be that the input is really, really slow because you can only put in 1 at a time. So I'm not really sure how to deal with this problem, but I don't think there's like any other options for generating potions. Like there's nothing stackable is the problem. So I can only put in 1 at a time. I might be able to fix this by having multiple inputs, but the other problem is I have to pull out the water bottle once it's been emptied by the generator. So yeah, there's really not a lot of good options here. And for this reason, the rainbow generator does turn on and off when the break happens, when I have to pull it out and pull it back in again. So I might have to change that up a little bit, but currently it's no problem. And that's the rainbow generator. It's definitely worthwhile doing if you want to have a lot of power. And in late game StoneBlock 2, really having a lot of power is going to be super important, especially if you're going for the, like I said, the max EMC quest. This is this one. So this is, what is it? Million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, 9 quintillion EMC. The balanced clay will give you 23 quadrillion. So even with that, you're going to have to do it 40 or 50 times just to get up to 1 quintillion. And from there, 9 times that. So it's going to be a little while before we can get to that point, but at the very least, we're working towards having pretty much infinite EMC. And once we get our chaos shards from the chaos chicken, which should happen sometime today, I'm hoping very, very soon, because it seems like the EMC is constantly ticking up, but not quite there yet. Anyway, yeah, once we kill the chaos chicken, we should be good to go on EMC and power. So pretty excited about that. Hopefully you all are too. And yeah, I'll be back very shortly, I think, when I have the Infinity Helm ready to go, and we can go and kill the Chaos Chicken. See you then. And we are here in the end. You might notice. Oh, hi. Yeah, I know. Yep. I just wanted to say hi. How's it going? We have full Infinity Armor, which means we can no longer be harmed. You can see we have Night Vision. My hunger bar will never ever go down ever again. I also took the liberty of creating the Draconic Sword and the Draconic Bow. It says 1 attack damage, but I don't think that's accurate. 35 seems about right. I could throw upgrades on here, I think. I'm really not sure how, but I assume there's some kind of, I don't know, Draconic Evolution. Oh yeah, upgrade. Attack damage. This is, well, that wouldn't be that difficult actually, but we're going to do this without that. And all we have to do to summon the Chaos Chicken is toss a dragon egg onto this this little setup here. And it should, yep, here we go. So this is a little bit harrowing because the last time I did this, I died a lot of times. So you're going to have to forgive me if this doesn't go very well. I have turned down the sound significantly, so it's going to be fairly quiet this entire fight, but we're just going to see how it goes. And yeah, basically my plan is to record this entire fight. I might speed up part of it, so if suddenly we go into fast forward mode, don't be alarmed. It's got to happen because this will probably take me a little bit of time. So yeah, without further ado, I suppose the Chaos Chicken is coming into play here, and we will begin the fight. Just gotta finish getting charged up, and here we go. Can I hit it? No. All right. Oh boy. Can I shoot it? It's still inside the egg, I think. Oh, no, it's not. Got a shield up. I'm trying to hit the shield, but there we go. There we go. Now we're doing damage. Oh, hello. It doesn't like it when I'm above it, so I gotta get down below. Here we go. Oh. I think the bow might be the way to go here. Yeah. Does a little bit of damage each time. As long as I'm relatively accurate, which doesn't seem to be the case at the moment. Yeah, this is going pretty well. Doesn't bother me that it attacks me, because I can take the damage, I can tank it. It doesn't actually hurt me. Though its shield should pop up pretty soon here. Getting inside the chicken is actually a pretty good strategy. Oh, and it hurts itself more than anything is the other thing. The eggs that fly around and explode, they damage the chicken. So it's a little funky like that. This fight is always weird, you know. Come on. Oh. There we go. Oh. I got moved. Pretty close, pretty close. Come on, come on, come on. Just a few more hits. There we go. It's down. Alright, so that's the final quest in the StoneBlock chapter. And yeah, that went really well. Oh, we grab our Chaos Shard. A few other goodies here and there. And Bam. More quest rewards. So let's take a look at what we get from this. Like nothing. Another dragon heart, some chaos shards. That's really what we care about. So let's go back to the base. Alright, so now... Oh, right. That's why I turned down the volume in the beginning, is this explosive generator. It's making noise all the time, but hopefully it's not too big of a deal. Chaos shard learned, and we'll dump everything else that we can in here. Shader grab bag, that's fine. I'll put away most of the arrows. We don't really need them anymore, but chaos shards, let's grab out, let's say a stack. We need chaotic fusion crafting injectors, we need chaotic cores, and then the Draconic Evolution will be done. ProjectE, we need the transmutation tablet, which should be fairly simple now. Let's see, I've got everything else, I believe. Energy condensers Mark II, I'm fairly certain I made. HTP sheets are in the EMC system already. The biggest thing, I guess, is going to be the infinity ingots, but I could probably... well, I just need 300 billion EMC for this, so that shouldn't take too long. I'll probably just let the EMC system build up to that. Meanwhile, I'll work on the chaotic cores, all the Draconic Evolution stuff, finish out this quest line, and then pretty much the last thing that we need to do is, well, the Tome of Knowledge, which is a chaotic tier thing. And then we make a bunch of balanced clay. By the way, since I'm here, I should mention that we're now getting, yeah, well, on and off, we're getting 2 billion RF per tick. The reason for that is that I realized that as long as I didn't hit any of these other generators with these, I could put pedestals with Watches of Flowing Time right here, and the rainbow generator would go faster. So this is, 8 times whatever the normal generation. Yeah, it brings it up to pretty quick. So we actually have enough RF power for, what is that? Probably about 50 of these, which definitely gets us on our way towards infinite EMC, though we aren't quite there yet, obviously. So, like I said, I'm going to be working on the chaotic stuff for Draconic Evolution, and we'll come back when we've got some of that done. And I'll see you then. And in fact, now that I've added the last segment in with the Chaos Chicken fight, turns out this episode is already pretty long, so I'm going to cut it here. And we'll start work on chaotic cores, chaotic fusion crafting, the transmutation tablet, and all that business in the next episode. And frankly, I think we might be pretty much done after the next episode, because we have made pretty crazy progress in a very short amount of time. So if you're excited for that, make sure you subscribe so you know when the next video comes out. Definitely hit up the Twitter and Twitch links in the video description. Give it a like, give it a comment, all that business. Being a good YouTuber. And I will be sure to see you in the next one. See ya! My jumps are bigger now. See ya!